I like staying up late, kept company by the gentle hum of passing cars and the trilling of nocturnal insects. I'll often look out the window behind me at the bridge over the river, in the distance past the neighborhood edge. Even this late at night, the red and whites of tiny car lights crawl along the stone bridge, softly flickering as their fleeting reflections leave impressions in the great black water. Above me, the moon reveals itself between slowly moving carpets of mauve clouds. It gets pretty big some nights, glowing by the stars, suffusing the clouds and trees with pale moonlight. Lately, I've been looking out that window more often. Sometimes I'll lose track of time, and for a few seconds, somewhere inside, I feel the trickle of a familiar sensation that I just can't quite place. So I keep looking, night after night. Uncle Ollie asks why I don't stop by the saloon anymore. Since I stopped drinking and smoking cigarettes, the magic doesn't quite glitter in the dust of its violet beams like it used to for me. Not in the same way. That old excitement of getting the chatterbox engine going and exchanging half-remembered conversations with strangers you'll never see again, or those regulars you know but never really do, each in their own atmosphere. The raucous adventure of the saloon, the border of sense and sanity, or the buffaloes past on their way out of history. Old Man Ollie is still the same. He's been 67 for the last 10 years, and he'll probably be 67 for 10 years more. Many have asked him just how old he really is, but Uncle Ollie never gives it away. The joke is his alone, and he keeps it held tightly to his chest. If Ollie has any convictions, it's probably the advice he gave me one summer night a few years back. He opened up by saying, "Listen, Melvin, first off, only a fool gives advice. Second off, you can go on ahead and live your life any way you want, even as an open book, a leaky faucet without a care and who knows what. But you've got to keep something for yourself, something just for you." I asked him if this was his secret to immortality. He laughed. He always laughs. Whenever one of those saloon doors swings open, you can bet on hearing the old man's cackle, resonating out into the night air. Uncle Ollie grew up in this house, Grandpa's old place, but he never visits. Too many memories, he'd say. Nothing there for a man of the moment. The moment. I'll find myself thinking about what that means more often than not these days. Then I catch myself, realizing that I've been ruminating on a memory of what my mind has made it up to be. Anthropomorphized, compartmentalized, conceptualized. The conscious mind is content at having boxed it into something palatable and digestible, while its truth remains just out of reach. It's possible that the moment is as much individual as it is universal. A paradox, the closest thing I've found to truth. Uncle Ollie's moment and my own are as different as we are. When we get together, it stretches and twists between competing influences, shaped in the blue heat of our colliding orbits. Then sometimes you're taken aback, surprised by something bigger, an ineffable intonation for which the only reasonable response is none at all. But it fades, as most moments do, and with it, a small sadness, a loneliness rediscovered. Baker's Saloon was opened in 1948 by Maud O'Flaherty, after she killed the man she loved in a duel the next city over. She named it after her father, Baker O'Flaherty. Maud had 2 sons, Lucas and Corin, and an estranged daughter, Lara. Lucas and Corin both died tragically. Lucas was stabbed in a drunken knife fight, and Corin plummeted down an open elevator shaft while working construction on a new high-rise. Maud ran the place until her hard living caught up to her. On her deathbed, Maud left the saloon to her daughter, whom she hadn't spoken to in all those years. She died, surrounded by the kind of outliers and outcasts you can only find at a place like Baker's. In that era, Ollie described them as the magic mood generation. Artists, poets, scumbags, theoretical physicists, sensitives, and neurotics. His words, not mine. Once in a rare mood, Ollie told me that he was there, by her side, when she passed on. He quickly changed the subject. That week after Maud died, Laura showed up and took over the place, as if nothing happened. Some barflies joked around about calling her Maud II. She didn't take kindly to those jokes. That's when they started calling her the Fly Swatter. I kind of miss Lara. She has a rare smile and smiles rarely, but it counted each time. I wonder if she'd say anything if we saw each other again, but silence usually suited her best. I stopped drinking when drinking started getting too real for me. Drinking isn't about reality, it's about fantasy. A clinging make-believe, washing over you with a Gaussian warmth that adds twinkle to light, suffusing reality with vibrance, like the low moon. It's buying yourself 5 more minutes in bed, but 5 minutes might as well be 30 seconds, and the fleeting moments of the drunken session add up with each re-administered dose. You say things, you may cry, perhaps you lose your last meal somewhere in the process, and you admit to strangers in dim rooms that you're terrified of finding out what this world is all about. You feel connected to the melody while barely skimming the rhythm. Drinking is a dream, and often it's a lie. At some point, I got tired of the drinking dream. Without the fuel for the fire, smoking fell by the wayside too. It was easy to quit cigarettes without the momentum of alcohol to keep the buzz going, but I haven't gone too squeaky clean. I'll occasionally toke the pipe and fan the embers of a hazy dream. Most of all, I'll stay up late at night, drawn to the view through my window, searching for traces of the familiar feeling, the elusive moment carried off the river wind. Further in the distance, something breaks the ambient silence. The whining high pitch of an old man's cackle, picked up in the midnight air, on a steady course for the low moon, as it smolders through parting clouds.